but we're live now. So, greetings.
Hello.
I'm discussing two topics here with VidBranches, my IRL friend. Good evening.
Evening. And yes, we are indeed going to be discussing the fat shaming cancer research and the imminent purge of YouTube.
Yeah, or instigated by YouTube, rather. The first topic is going to be a bit more shitposty style, but at the same time, I might go off on a wee rant. So that'll be the shorter topic, and yeah, we'll probably put more into the YouTube purges. That's something that's more closer to home. But so yeah, so
something a bit more serious.
But at the same time, though, this I'm going to go and try and source the tweet. I should have had it up. But it was a comedian, right? And it's strange. Yeah, comedians are supposed to be edgy and they're supposed to push the boundaries, but they've turned into moral crusaders.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. That reason is money.
Oh, here she is. I found her. Yeah, so
to be fair, she's not exactly hard to miss.
Press done. Let's see if anyone's in the live chat. Nope. So yeah, we've got no one on live just now as far as I'm aware, but we'll just chat away. So her name's she's from Denmark, and she's basically the rising Amy Schumer. And she was upset because Cancer Research UK put out a health warning stating that obesity is the second highest cause of cancer after smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yeah, and she didn't particularly care for that.
She was thrown around. And see, the thing is, was anyone fat shamed though? No,
well,
there
not
was no
really.
Fat shaming. It was a health warning. I mean,
yeah, there's no shaming done about it. It's kind of a lukewarm thing, really. It was literally just, hey, here's a fact.
Yeah, it's like when I don't think anyone would proposition that we were smoking shaming when the risks with smoking came along. That was like, oh yeah, that's a fact. Maybe we should try and encourage people to stop smoking. But for fat shaming, because it's a social justice cause now, they're taking it way too personally, and it's stupid.
Yeah, there are similarities, but not in the same way. There were plenty of people who said that no, people are lying, smoking's totally fine for you, but that's more of a money thing.
Yeah. Whereas this is it's rooted in
a feelings
social
thing.
Engineering. Yeah, feelings fine. Social engineering. Well, she's tweeting a lot just now, so I'm not going to tweet at her because I'll probably get banned. Or blocked,
let's have a link.
A link? I'll send you one.
Yeah,
let's see. You want me to screen share, yeah?
If you want. I was just going to have a look through Twitter.
All right. Are you on Twitter now, or are you not on it?
Absolutely not. I would like to stay off that cancer, thank you.
Okay. Understandable. I'm on my second account. I closed the other one because I was locked down for a week. Here's her. I've sent you. I've telegrammed her page, but you'll need to go down and you'll find it. Well, it's crazy. Like, there's also the good thing about this is some of the replies. I hope they've not been deleted, but there was one that had me howling, and I think it wasn't to her. It was to another one of her fat white knights. I say she white knight because it was a she, but I couldn't think of another term off the top of my head.
I think it's awfully transphobic of you. I suspect the term white knight should be gender neutral.
Gender neutral. What should we call it then? Zeit knight or something.
Zeit knight. It's not really a female equivalent of knight. It's just lady. So I don't know. I'm sure we could come up with something if we thought hard enough.
Oh, we could, and it would take off. Right, I'm gonna. I don't host very often, so I still need to get good at doing a lot of the things on here. Right, screen sharing. Apologies for the Hall of Mirrors style, and I'm just going to present myself to everyone. Right. So I don't know if Cancer Research UK were trolling a bit by putting a sort of hangman style scenario for obesity. But
I would highly doubt that.
but still though, it's like there's like a feeling of walking on eggshells here. What Sophie says is anyone currently working on getting this piece of shit Cancer Research UK advert removed from anywhere? Is there something I can sign? How the fuck is this okay? So instantly she wants to, she wants to be active. She wants to get activizing, if that's a word. I've coined it if it's not.
Activizing is not a word.
Well, it is now. But yeah, she wants to sign something. So it's like one of these stupid petitions that keyboard activists love to do. But
yep.
Pointing out a fact, in Cancer Research UK, they've got to, they've got to make people aware of this because you want to limit your chances of getting cancer if possible.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a bit of a lukewarm issue for most people, and that is because they are simply informing people of something which they might not necessarily know. It's obvious that obesity is bad for you, but a lot of people wouldn't know the links between that and cancer. I mean, to be fair, I don't know the links between that and cancer either. But it is something that people should know about, especially since it depends how serious we want to go for the talk here, but a lot of people don't understand the root causes of why people get fat in the first place, which is either because they're lazy or because they don't understand the concept of calories in, calories out. And so people won't necessarily take that seriously. They'll just treat it like an appearance thing. And when they stop doing that, they're going to get sick. So no harm in pointing that out. The problem is that these people have been reminded, I'm going to say these people, including her and other fat types. What's happened with them is fat types.
Yeah, she said something along the lines of like having social anxiety, which caused her to be fat.
I'm not surprised he has anxiety. She might have just looked at herself and gone, fuck, I'm killing myself.
But be that as it may, though, even if social anxiety led to her piling on the pounds, in her early years, Cancer Research UK shouldn't be forced to or pressured into removing, a clear warning just to accommodate her feelings.
Yeah, they shouldn't be doing that to accommodate anyone's feelings.
No, because they've got to be right. I mean, obviously, I became beefier over the years. I've lost a wee bit, but I'm not exactly in perfect shape. But it's good to know that that's an extra motivation. Don't be lazy and don't eat a lot of shit.
Yeah, at least you won't get cancer from that. It's the same thing of like when it comes to health stuff, truth hurts. No one, like, smokers don't like being told, that they're shortening their life by 20 years. But it's a fact. They kind of need to know. Otherwise, they can't make the decision to stop if they don't have all the information. I mean, I used to smoke all the time, and I hated thinking about stuff like that, and I hated being reminded of that. But
you still smoking now?
Oh, fuck no. I stopped ages ago.
All right.
But yeah,
you were in control of it the way it was more like did you have cravings, like really bad cravings?
Sometimes, yeah. Early on, definitely, like the first few times I tried to quit, it did not go particularly well. I think the furthest I went on my own, it was about 10 or so days. The real way to quit smoking for anyone who wants to is Alan Carr method works a lot. And a lot of the Alan Carr method is just understanding nicotine addiction and then working around that. But yeah, once you got that part down, it's easy, like genuinely easy. But yeah, it's the same thing of no one likes being told these sort of things. No one likes being told that your lifestyle is bad for you. So you should change it. People have this idea nowadays, and she's part of the problem on this one, is that they're not the ones that should change. Things should change around them. Or that people shouldn't change their minds. They should change the people around them or something. And that's what it is. She's just been told that, like, actually, no, she didn't even get told anything. She saw people whose jobs it is to worry about.
Popped up on her thing. Or she's, this out, but it's probably just popped up on her thing. Someone retweeted it.
Yeah,
or she's seen someone else moan about it.
Yeah, it's these people's jobs to worry about health cancer specifically and warn people how to avoid it, and they've gone, no, that upsets me. Stop. That's all it is.
Mm. It would be like Cancer Research UK putting out a warning saying if you've got fair hair or a tinge of ginger, which I've got, then you've got to take extra care in the sun. That'll be like me going, oh God, why? You shouldn't be shaming us gingers like that. I mean, fuck off. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you can go at the sun and get sunburnt if you want to.
Yeah. Skin cancer's quite a risk for people with fair skin.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, Cancer Research UK, I'm not going to click into the part 1 of 1, but I'm glad at first that they were just, re-emphasizing, the risks. And she just decides to quadruple down. So what your campaign is doing is incredibly damaging. Well, first of all, no, it's not. In fact, it's the complete opposite of damaging. They could potentially save someone's life. Even if one person looks at this and thinks, right, I'm going to make a change now. I mean, who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't get cancer in the future. But it's the opposite to damaging.
Yeah,
I can't even begin.
Like I said, people.
There you go.
People need to help us think. Yeah, I was just going to say, just to reiterate my earlier point, it's just these are people who are worrying about one specific thing, and people just go, "No, that upsets me." It's stupid.
Yeah. So I'll carry on. She can't even begin to explain it in only 280 characters. That's the new limit on Twitter. So she's got. She could basically like ramble on about how this is bad that Cancer Research UK are damaging this. There are many people who have tweeted me their articles about it. Try reading those. This is no excuse for you to have this campaign up. I don't care what people tweeted them and what articles. If there is a risk of cancer, it's their duty. If anything, it would be wrong of them to, just brush it under the carpet to appease a vocal but sadly influential minority of pinheads.
Yeah, oh man, I'm reading through the tweets that are on your screen share now. Jesus Christ. I'd actually scroll up a bit.
Up?
Yeah, so.
Which one? Is it the one I've got my cursor over?
Yeah. No, the one above that. Only thing that kills more than cancer in society is thing that kills society viewing fatness as a negative thing kills more than cancer. It's like, when's the last time you saw a fat person kill themselves?
I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah. A lot of the famous cases are not that. And I know that I'm saying famous cases, like the ones that get shown around a lot. It's usually people who are put in a really, really bad situation by circumstance or who have mental health issues. It's never fat people. They always die from natural causes, which are brought about by the lifestyle. So, no.
They shorten their lives. Well, there's a whole Boogie 2988. I mean, he had to lose weight or his life was going to be trimmed short significantly.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been following him recently, but when I did actually follow his channels, then yeah, it was right about that point where it was just like he was just told that. I think he started making progress towards it, but not much.
Well, if you look for some before and after photos, he's had was it an operation or something to get a lot removed? He does look a lot thinner. I mean, you probably wouldn't notice it if you saw just a picture of him now, but if you saw a before and after, like comparing 6 months, it's quite a lot. Right. And if he was, and he's someone that does have mental issues, and he could easily have just done what this quote unquote comedian did, and then went on, that's fat shaming. But no, he recognised that he was overweight and it was endangering himself in the long run, so he took action, and it's had some bad effects. Like it's the procedure that he went through. Apparently, if you're married, there's like an 85% chance that you'll end up divorcing your partner. So he's divorced his wife. But I won't.
How'd that happen? Like, how'd that come about? Like, what made an 85% chance of divorce? Why?
I just read that on a tweet that was like following up from something he said. But it causes a lot of stress that puts people over the edge, basically.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's possible that she cucked him as well. Because she has had photos taken with other dudes, ones that are in shape.
Right.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know enough about that to comment.
Yeah, I'm not going to go any further anyway because I'm going off the topic.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is the one here that you mentioned. You can absolutely go away, and you can absolutely go away in terms of trying to excuse it. Why? Excuse what? They're doing their moral imperative and what's their jobs as well. Cancer Research UK, they've got to make people aware of the fact that society viewing fatness is a negative. No, this is not an attempt to try and socially engineer people into just being like Superman bodies and all that. They're just trying to raise awareness to people who it might apply to, could apply to her. And I certainly hope she doesn't have cancer, because then she'll learn what an actual struggle is, and whatever she feels by just seeing this warning.
Whatever she thinks she feels.
Yeah, whatever she thinks she feels, tenfold, it will be a lot worse if she has to go through it, and not just for her, but for any loved ones. But
yeah, it would quite literally destroy her life in every single way, and she'd get to see it happen.
And not only that, is it even for survivors, it's a bloody perilous road. Hey, Bella, quiet. Bella's barking at something. Apologies, viewers. But yeah, someone very close to me, someone very young in my family is going through it, and it just, seeing her moan about this, it really pissed me off, to be honest. I mean, usually I just like point and laugh, but seeing something of this, and perhaps because of, sorry, I'll just go and try and deal with Bella. I'll be back.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
You can
sure. Yeah. If this was a more popular channel, I would certainly expect to be seeing a lot of get doggo, bark, bark. But apparently that's not going to be happening. Yeah, just continuing on from the point. What she's doing is whining because she feels like her lifestyle is being, how do I put this? Made irrelevant? Not made irrelevant. There is a word for it. But yeah, that's all these people are doing. That's all the fat activist movement has become and has always ever been, is people who are trying to continue to feel good about themselves, even though everything and everyone around them states otherwise, for quite valid reasons. It's they don't think they should have to change, and they don't want to suffer the consequences of their bad choices.
Look, if she wants to stay fat, then that's her right. I'm not going to shame her. No one should be shamed for being fat. Although I do believe that we should shame, the fat promotion movement. It's not just acceptance. They would actually
I don't think it's morally good to do it, like to shame people for their own self-interest. It works, but it's not a good thing to do. I certainly wouldn't advocate for it if we had when we have alternatives.
Basically, if I was talking to someone fat, I would try to, give them motivation and encourage them to get better, but I'm not going to see them as a inferior human as a result. It's ultimately up to them to do it. I mean, I've had fat friends throughout my life, and it's, I've never saw them as being, they're fat. We should shame them. They should be exiled until then they start losing weight or something. Bollocks. Yeah,
it doesn't. Yeah, over time, that sort of stuff stops its effect. Like I said, shaming does work, but not all the time, because people will build a resistance to it and say, "No, you're wrong," and become stubborn.
Yeah,
encouragement is what you need.
I would encourage someone nice, but for someone like her, I wouldn't shame her because she's fat, but I'm definitely shaming her here on this stream for having a go at Cancer Research UK for giving out potentially life-saving information.
The problem is not that she's fat. The problem is that she's stupid.
Oh yeah, if she lost her weight, she'd probably still be, banging on about this.
I doubt it. I don't think she'd care that much.
Do you not think so? No. Would it just be a case of, I'm all right, Jack? Then do you think I'm all right now, so it's fine?
Yeah, I don't think she'd complain. I think she'd join in with everyone else complaining, but she wouldn't be the one to start it.
Yeah, so there's lots of good tweets. I followed
Uh,
another. This is one here.
I quite like Karen's, I've got to say.
Karen, all right, Karen, I'll read it out. I'm not down with the concept that it's okay to definitely have some people have a negative reaction for the possibility of some others having a positive one. This campaign has been around for a while, and I'm not seeing many people pipe up about how it specifically empowered them. True.
Yeah, it's some good points in there. Like less moralistic.
Mm-hmm. This one, I saw this tweet earlier. Rebecca, this is a good one. She's to be honest, I'm categorically obese. I'm reading about obesity's links to detrimental health problems, and worst case, cancer has actually led me to go on a healthy weight loss journey and have already lost 2.5 stone. People need to know this stuff. True. Round of applause for Rebecca. But no, I mean, it's good. I mean, she's not doing this. It's not a case of, haha, big fatty boom boom, fatty boom boom, you're going to get cancer if you don't do this. No.
Oh man, it's since I heard anyone say that.
I've said it on here, so if I applied for monetization, this would be demonetized. But yeah, it's given her motivation, it's given her a goal and a purpose. So it's it's good to see, when there's a lot of fat people out there who do recognize that it's not healthy, and some choose to do something, some choose not to, but they don't use it to try and say, oh, poor me, stop oppressing me and all that. Yeah, so what was this one? I saw this one earlier. Funnily enough, the people at Cancer Research are probably busy trying to, research cancer. They don't always have time to run everything by some no-marked comedian who's offended by facts. Yeah, that's true. And who's this, Tiffany? Yeah, because the PR team and marketing team are also scientists paving the way to new medicine. What's she going on about there? I don't know, but he was like, never tweet me again. Someone feels inferior. But yeah. There was quite a lot. Where's that funny one? There was someone that white knighted for her. Oh, here's the first one.
Wow, that's quite the split.
Let's quit this one. Are you talking?
I was not there.
Yeah, whatever you said last was cut out. But I repeat that.
Oh, wasn't anything important. I was literally just commenting on the big gap between the first and second reply from Cancer Research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it got split up from because
all the replies
directly replying was that one. Yeah, and there was someone. The best one was a lassie who is actually going through cancer treatment right now. She was she's very woke though. She's not like one of these snowflakes. She just really went to town on her. Jesus, that's so big though. This is good. I'm diabetic and I'm offended.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's just crazy. I mean, to get offended by something is, well, it should be a trivial thing to get offended about, but it's something that you've got to take serious, in the context of health.
It's because they view it as a lifestyle.
Well, it isn't. It's just a way that you are. I mean, being anorexic isn't a lifestyle. Being slim isn't a lifestyle.
Yeah, I've no doubt that these are the kind of people who believe that there's no link between obesity and exercise or obesity and diet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the Lisa. This is the last that was she was getting into, I wouldn't say arguments, but she was blocked by this dude. This is some oppressed little snowflake. So she said, you felt how you felt. So what? I've got cancer, but I didn't accuse my oncologist of hurting my feelings when she told me, grow the fuck up and take responsibility for your own situation. That's been deleted. I think a few things have been.
Yeah, I imagine there would be.
But I want to find her replies to our wonderful Amy Schumer heir apparent. The thing is, though, I don't want to. I know it might sound harsh, but in a way, experiencing cancer for someone like Sophie Hagen would actually probably toughen her up mentally, if you know what I mean. Because before my nephew was diagnosed, I was like almost a full blown nihilist, and I've really like turned that around, and I've really it's just like ripped me out of that horrible state of mind that I was in.
Yeah, hardship builds character. It's true for everyone.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it was a good thing, but I'm the one that probably developed the most out of it, strangely enough. I'm actually like putting a lot of my principles into practice.
Yeah, I'm not sure in her case it would help, because not only would she fat, she'd be fat and have cancer.
Mm.
Which, to be fair, might actually keep her going for a bit longer than normal.
Well, more meat for the tumor to spread on, yeah.
No, I mean more fat to burn for energy.
Yeah.
Because first thing that tends to happen when people go on the chemo is they don't eat enough and get nutritional problems because you just throw it all back up.
Oh Jesus, what's going on? This is the. It was her that actually said this. I never knew, but there was another, because there's so many.
Oh yeah, I've seen there.
Someone had said something along the lines of, "I feel like shitty looking at this, warning on billboards," and then Lisa replies, "Cancer has made me feel a lot shittier than you looking at a fucking sign on the way to Greg's." That was absolutely wonderful. Getting a retweet. So yeah, to summarise, Cancer Research UK, not only did they do nothing wrong, but they did everything right. And I absolutely hope they do not bow down. There's so many companies that bow down to these arseholes. But
I don't think they will.
They better not. They can't, surely. I mean, this is cancer. This isn't just like an advert for a bottle of juice or something. This is serious. This isn't even an advert. This is a warning.
Yeah, there's also not enough genuine morality behind it to get something like that pulled.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time it's a lol cow. Like when I see them offended by, like there was one that was offended by a Christmas jumper that had an OCD Christmas theme, and she was triggered. And like, I've got OCD, and I found it hilarious. Just a bit of character building would have made that triggered SJW laugh at that. So yeah, stick to your guns, Cancer Research UK, and keep warning people off the dangers. As for myself, I'm going to stop screen sharing now. That's the end of that topic. I'm going to turn off presenting to everyone. Try talking?
You should be able to hear me.
That's good. Have you got the page open off the stream?
Yeah, I do. Wait, do you mean the YouTube page? No.
Yeah. That's fine, but don't worry. I was just in. There's apparently one viewer, but I couldn't tell if anyone was in the chat.
One viewer. It's you.
I lost it. Yep, that's it. Yeah, oh yes, one of my Twitter followers was in there. I don't know if she's still watching. She feels like her lifestyle's been attacked. She thinks she's a warrior fighting. And see if she tried fighting, like throwing a couple of punches. unless it would depend on like the stake for the the winnings. If you were to put like a Fat Sam's like cheeseburger and fries, then she'd probably win.
Yeah. Put some chocolate bars on the other end of a boxing ring and teach her body slam.
Yeah. So that's the fatties out of the way. Now going to go on to the rather worrying YouTube purge.
Yes, I think the more accurate term would be Google purge.
Google purge.
Yeah, is this the part of the matter? Google's been very, very. How do we put this? It's almost a shame I don't have a webcam because doing the perfect hand gesture.
Yeah. Just say what you'll say, and I'll try and picture your hand gesture.
Happy merchant.
Happy merchant. Just hearing that makes me happy.
Yes, they've not to put too fine of a point on it. They have just in case anyone feels a bit weird, but that was a joke. But yeah, they've been quite inappropriate when it comes to the issues of hiring whitey. Not only hiring whitey, but
not just whitey, but honorary whitey as well.
Yeah, Asians. Like, come on, guys, you're going against people of color here. What are you doing? Why can't you social justice properly?
I think some people, especially Japanese, you know, and of the Oriental descent, they do have pale skin. They're basically white with just different pigment.
Yeah, the Japanese are basically Americans, TBH.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be bleach from all the from the radiation, but we never know.
The Gulag Eagle.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm just then distributing some posts, get more people to tune in. I'll go back on the Twitter and put another one in. Over 1,000 subs, maybe one or two with them tune in.
But okay. So while that's going on, I think there's a couple different reasons for the upcoming purge. One of those reasons is because YouTube likes money, and a lot of the ways to lose money is to have unfriendly content on it. And I do believe them when they say that they're demonetizing people for that reason. I don't think it's just an ideological thing. I do genuinely think that they're going to lose money, which kind of doesn't make, like, that was the original purpose, which was repurposed for the Google removing undesirables, is my honest opinion of what's happening as an outsider. Because it doesn't make sense for them to be turning down profit by way of ads for anyone, but they don't want to encourage people. I think YouTube would be quite happy if people like Sargon and V and all the rest of the shitposters fucked off to make videos on Minds forever. I don't think they would miss them, because then they can just pump out all the really popular stuff and all the children's stuff and music channels that make up the rest of YouTube, so they can keep making money.
Yeah. Although I think they would want them to like go to Minds or wherever, especially Sargon, because he was mentioned by name in a memo. It was one of the other memos. It wasn't James Damore, even though he's verified and large. But the thing is that I think there's a lot of people in places of influence at YouTube who want to like terminate his account, but they know that the shitstorm would be huge.
Yeah, they know that the second they do, people are going to, like, normal everyday people are going to take notice and go, well, why was he singled out? And then they're going to look for, I guarantee there's people who've got all of his videos downloaded somewhere, and they will get passed around the internet and people will find out. And then they'll go, okay, it just sounds like a normal thing to say from a bit of an intellectual standpoint. Why did he get shut down? And eventually, I don't think it'll ever get to the point where normal people, by normal people I mean wider society, take that much of a notice. But
normies.
It will have an effect. Well, I was trying to avoid saying normies, because I didn't want to use.
You're too cool to say that now.
No, it's like okay, slight off topic, genuine opinion time. Is normie a slur? Like, is it a pejorative? Like, do you consider it
become one?
Yeah, like if someone calls you normie, knowing what it means, would you be like a little bit upset? Would you be a little bit butthurt if I called you a normie?
Not really. I mean, I don't see it as like a slur, but I can see why others might think of it, with the rise of Kekistan.
Yeah, it's like people tend to use it in the same way that some folks use commoner, So when talking about something serious, I know, when talking about something serious, I'd rather not use the silly term. But anyway, we are all normies. I don't think they'll care that much, because at the end of the day, it's internet bullshit. It's just internet bullshit, and it doesn't matter to them. and the rest of their lives they care about their okay job and their family.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be a big deal.
People have tuned into the chat. Good evening to everyone. Catherine, Tailed Feature, and Future Capitalist in Space. Well, I call him that. You know, I speak out against censorship, but every time Communist in Space goes on my live chat, or I'm a moderator on someone else's chat, I always end up purging them, or I try to be the first to. But I won't do it the next time. If you're still listening, dude, you can talk, you can spew all the bile you want. So yeah, I'm just looking for, a list again of more and more that have went down, because it wasn't just that. Have you been watching Andy Warski and his internet blood sports recently?
No, I haven't. I haven't, to be honest. I haven't been keeping up with a lot of the argumentative side of YouTube recently. I probably should. I know there's a bunch of really popular live streams which I need to catch up on. Yeah, so no, I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah, well, Andy Warski, I mean, he's just started live streaming, and it's like he's been like crimson red pilled. But no, he's I've not seen anything to suggest that he's alt-right, although if anyone in the chat has, let me know and I'll look for that. But what he has been doing is he's been getting extremes from both sides and just letting them have at it online. And it's become like really huge, to the point that he had a live debate which had Sargon on one side. I think he was with Styx Exenhammer, and Richard Spencer and that French dude, or was it someone else on the other side? And during the timing of the stream, there was over 12,000 people tuned in.
That's the one, actually. That's the one I was just talking about. I need to go and see.
Yeah, it is worth watching again. But I've not seen a lot of them. There's way too many to like go through to try and like single out specific examples of blood sports, because apparently people just like really go at each other to the point that some people who are subscribed are disappointed if the conversation is actually productive.
I never actually heard anyone use that term until after Mr. Merker made his video about it. So I think it's just people picking up the term. But yeah, there are quite a few videos like that going around already. I've seen some really good ones.
Have you? Who by?
I would consider Destiny and Naked Ape yelling at each other to be a bit of that. That was pretty fucking good.
What was that? I can't remember if I've seen that one though. What I have seen, it wasn't a live stream, it was a Discord, but it was Kraut versus Naked Ape, and Naked Ape just went in hard and dry.
I haven't actually seen that one. I haven't been able to find the good.
Do you want me to play? Do you want me to just play a little? It is the best part, but
if it's the bit I think it is, then I've guarantee I've heard it. But yeah, go on. At least find me a link so I can watch it later.
Yeah, I will do. It's an edit that someone made of it. Yeah, it's what's become the Naked Ape meme. I've got his video on my channel. If anyone missed his video because it got taken down, then I've got a mirror on my channel, which I'll only take down if he asks me to. But yeah, he hosted them back to what's his face, Andy Warski. He had was it Andrew Anglin that he had on one of his things? Chat, help me out if you know any information. I think he had Andrew Anglin or one of the other, alt-right extremists, just on a debate, which there's nothing wrong with. Use sunlight as a disinfectant, etc. And they got a 1 week ban from streaming, and that's basically all he's doing now. I don't think he makes any like pre-recorded videos. He just does all these streams like several times a week.
Which one is this again? Sorry, the guy. Warski,
yeah, he got he didn't as far as I'm aware, he didn't endorse what the alt-right people were saying, but because he hosted someone, I think it was Anglin, then for that reason he got a strike. Let me just pause that. Naked Ape uses Scientology method of debating. Naked Ape is based as fuck. Communist in Space, you're just salty about his anti-atheism video.
Could you please link me to the live stream? Because whenever I try to search channel name on YouTube, some psychiatrist pops up.
Yeah. What, psychiatrist?
Yeah, you've got a contestant for your channel name, bro.
I know. I've merged Dr. Ezekiel together so there's no space because it was just showing me as doctor in the thing as if it was my first name. I need to try and sort that out. So yeah, engage with the chat. I have no idea how to make you a moderator.
I just want to see it.
Yeah, Warscape is taken down. Baked Alaska. I suspect he's probably one of the more radical alt-righters, but you know, I used to follow him, but I've not seen his like he was meant to be one of these like radicals.
What, Baked Alaska?
Yeah, he's meant to be like one of the more hardliners in the alt-right. Well, I'm not sure if it's to an Andrew Anglin level.
Based on what I've seen of him, he wasn't that bad, but still, you know.
Yeah, and he's very prominent as well. He was the one that
yeah, he got quite a bit of attention after he got bear maced.
By
oh no, dude, he got bear maced.
Did he?
Yeah, he was like temporarily blinded. Like,
just to address Tailed, he's saying that his anti-atheism video was terrible. I disagree. I loved it. I think he's obviously trying to be edgy.
Yeah, I mean, I got where it's coming from, but at the same time, I did not care for it. And it's a bit the way in which he was criticizing atheism whilst not being religious himself was a bit weird, to be honest.
No, what he did was he cast.
I'll put it this way: I agree with the points, but I disagree with the way he told it. It was, yeah, it felt a bit flat, to be honest.
I quite like it. I just love it.
Fucking cancer because it doesn't do anything useful.
It was funny though because he just swung his rod into the lake to try and to put some bait in, and they caught loads. They caught loads of fish. So hopefully we'll get back to making other videos.
Yes, I'd like to see him put effort into the next one.
Yeah, well that was his first in what 8 months or something.
Yeah, it's apparently got
90% of it communist. If you forgot 90% of it, how can you be in a place to judge whether it was good or not? Go watch it again. Maybe the light of his message will get through to you. I mean, I'm an atheist, and even I admit atheism was a mistake. Infowars, yes. Sorry, this was one of the others. It's strange how a lot of them have gone out of my mind. Infowars got was it 2 threats, I think, for take down these videos or they'll be deleted.
Yeah, not shocked. A lot of the other back to what was okay. So actually, just remember something. Back to what I was saying, really close to the start, where it's about making money and keeping it relatively accessible to most people, keeping YouTube relatively accessible to most people. A lot of the channels that got taken down were gun channels. There's a lot of people, like if we remember the dude who made mostly slingshot vids, who was taken down for making a tutorial on how to pierce a police stab vest.
Oh, him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know many of the others by name, but there were quite a few other weapon channels that got taken down because it's unfriendly content. YouTube don't want to be seen promoting hurt and violence.
The past few days, like.
Yes, there were a couple. I'm trying to find out where they are, but I haven't been able to find sources on them.
I don't follow any gun channels, so I have no idea.
There's only a couple I follow, and they're too popular to get purged.
Right.
And
so what do we call them then? What we call it? Firearms content then? Maybe they can avoid getting taken down.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it depends what it is. Like, what's the guy called? Like, the antique firearms dude.
I don't know. I really don't know that many. In fact, I don't know anyone apart from that slingshot dude who makes anything that resembles projectiles.
There's a couple. Forgotten Weapons, that's what I was thinking of. There's Forgotten Weapons, there was The Range, there was there's Scalagrim who does stuff like that occasionally.
Sorry, I'm just looking at I've not done anything, but Communist in Space, I've seen your message about atheism being a description of something, but it's been held for review. Oh, that's beautiful.
The guy with the police stab vest was a knockoff vest, and he was showing it's fake and not effective. Yes, that's exactly what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was showing it was a really shit, cheap stab vest from Amazon, and he was indicating as to why it was bad. With to be honest, a not very realistic knife. It was a homemade 3-sided knife, which is ridiculously good at stabbing through things compared to a normal knife, and rammed it straight through. He should have tested it with a kitchen knife.
Yeah,
and that would have been a bit more realistic.
but
Or like
still,
a cheap £10 hunting knife or something.
How shit this is. I mean, going back to the earlier topic, like Cancer Research UK, review, showing, the truth of like dangers and all that. If people was to get this invest, surely that video would be helpful. Rather,
it would be extraordinarily helpful.
Yeah. Tailed said that that's the only Naked Ape video that you've ever seen. It is by no means anywhere near his best. When you're bored, go just check out his channel. Like, it's out of date content like by a year, but it's so funny.
He does have some very good videos. I actually quite like Naked Ape.
Yeah, it's just funny. Even if I think he's wrong, it's still just the way he delivers it is so hilarious. Like, I'm working on a video it's taking a time. I'm not going to just rush it. I'm going to put it out when it's ready, but it's going to be a roast of the Labour Party, and it is influenced by Naked Ape style, to be honest.
Need more roasting the Labour Party.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to roasting those bastards. Fucking hate them with a passion. I hate them even more than the SNP, and that says a lot.
Yeah, I'm not as fired up about the SNP as I used to be. Still don't like him. But yeah, Labour Party's cancer. The sooner people start realizing that, the better.
Yeah, it was what inspired me to make it. It was originally going to be just about that trans model that L'Oreal sacked for saying that all white people are racist. That was what it was going to, but instead I just ended up thinking, you know what, I'm just going to destroy Labour. I'll probably go through over time. I mean, it'll take forever for me to get all these videos out, but I'll probably roast all the parties I hate one by one.
Yeah.
That's for the Conservatives. I couldn't really roast them as a whole because I'm not saying that they're great, but there's too much good in them for me to just roast the whole foundation. It would be more like a sort of anti-Theresa May rant if I was to do an anti-conservative roast.
Yeah. To answer chat, the guy did get his account back after everyone sort of realized it was bullshit. And Sargon and Lehman did. It was a really good job defending him. Lehman in particular did.
Right. Excuse me. I'm going to just I'm drawing blanks. I'm trying to go through other examples of the storm that's coming.
Let me open the window here.
Can you hear the video that I'm watching?
Bits of it.
I'll just turn it down so I don't want it overlapping.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be anything too major until we do eventually start seeing people just get removed from YouTube, at which point they'll have to move on to new contents. New websites, rather.
The thing is, though, YouTube, in terms of its interface and reach, is the best platform, and it's run by
the company which has one of the biggest reaches on the internet and has control over what the vast majority of people who use the internet see, including people who know exactly how bad they are. Yeah. Because let's be serious, we're on a Google platform right now because they put themselves in a position where they are almost indispensable.
Oh, I mean, they're practically the internet, more or less.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go so far as to say that. No,
I,
they are
I,
absolutely not the internet. They just control a very large portion of the internet.
Well, it's the majority of the internet then, at least, because it's very hard to de-Google yourself. I mean, I've tried other search engines and they just frustrated me after a time. I mean, I wanted to like them, but Google's just so damn efficient.
Yeah, see, there you go. Never going to go. Same with Amazon. They're tax dodging cunts that sell shit, but at the end of the day, it's cheap and effective, and it gets people what they want, so they're going to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, like the best case scenario is that YouTube just goes back to what it was before the adpocalypse, and just lets everyone within reason. I mean, to me, extremist content is like inciting people to do something.
I don't think we're ever going to see a return to the older days of YouTube.
No, we're not. No, that's the best case scenario. I mean, as long as people like Sargon and everyone else, can still put their videos out, then we should just use it until it's over. Just keep going, because they are still, bringing in a reach.
Well, yeah, I mean, nothing has ever stayed around forever, and this includes businesses and platforms on the internet. Like, remember when MySpace was the big thing? Yeah. I'm fucking old enough to remember that shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Do you remember, and does anyone in chat ever remember Bolt.com?
I do not remember Bolt.
They were similar to YouTube, and they were arguably at the time better than YouTube. Like, more people were. This was before Google bought YouTube, so it was in 2006. But you didn't just put videos up; you could like put music on, so people could stream it. And there was a way that if you streamed that song, you could go into your temporary internet files, and a copy of that song would be there for you, MP3. So, I think was it Sony Music or something? Some big giant like sued them to the point that they were forced under, and that was about the same time that or just shortly after YouTube was bought by Google, so they were able to establish themselves as like the biggest and just have a monopoly of videos online.
Yeah,
the
monopoly is going to continue until.
Do you remember Face Party branches?
Actually, no. Like, the only social media stuff I knew before the really big ones came along was MySpace, Bebo, and I used to use YouTube as a social network back in like 2006, 2007.
Yeah, so did that actually. This channel that I'm using, this is actually my first channel. Do you remember Scoosh67?
Fucking hell.
That was my name. It was after a Celtic player. That was his nickname. So I was like, oh, I like this player. Sadly, Scoosh, it will still come up if you search Scoosh67.
Jesus
I created a new channel from scratch, but I just couldn't get any reach. So you know what? I'll just take this channel, and other people who don't know this sort of content, I might be able to red pill a few people. That's a lot easier to like reach people, and a few names that I think have been subscribed have popped in comments. But yeah, I've done, it's like a total like 180. I mean, I actually created a couple of pro SNP videos for this channel way back in the day, but I deleted them a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that old Winston Churchill quote's kind of true.
Oh, about being
if you're not a liberal before you're 20, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative by the time you're 40, you have no brain.
Do the thing is, I was like, I sort of became, I don't know if I could ever call myself a liberal, but I was arguably a communist without identifying as one, because I did, I idealistically believing that, yeah, we should all be paid the same or and all that shit, but I just didn't call myself a communist because I wasn't really aware of the term when I was like 16. But yeah, my first red pills were dispensed in 2009 by Pat Condell, and he's another one. Yeah, he's a name that came to mind. He's also suffering from this ongoing YouTube purge, or this. We don't know when it's going to strike again, but his video was taken down. I mirrored that, and it got put back up. I'm just going to go onto his channel right now to see how many views he gets, because he normally gets 6 figures in his views for videos. Really active recently. I were to Google feminist, 63,000 views. So basically, I don't know if this was the plan all along, but the momentum for that video, that video into itself getting the views is shut down, but lots of people posted it elsewhere, myself included. I mean, I've only had over 100 views, but yeah, but people have commented on it. Some Romanian German lassie that V was talking to found my link through a comment I put in. She was happy to see it. Pat Condell, he's been like dispensing red pills for a long time, but the thing is, he never engages in any live streams because he made it clear that he would never interview anybody or take an interview from anyone. But I'd love it, even if like someone like Dave Rubin or even Sargon was to just get a hold of him and say, look, come on here, chat. This isn't like a media interview. This is the alternative media, because this alternative media didn't exist when he was ongoing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember Dick Coughlin. He was a fucking grade A cunt.
Yeah, don't remember that one.
Nah, he was some wannabe comedian who he was like very far left, and he was such a huge apologist for Islam. He's like one of those what you could call the old atheist community who
went atheism plus.
It went atheism plus, but they were more like, it was more about attacking Christianity and Christianity alone. And even like Pat Condell was popular at first because his first few videos were mainly about America's, religious.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the videos I've seen of him is mostly the atheist stuff and him shitting on Catholicism.
Yeah, and that's someone that they loved him for. And then his first video about Islam, which it was still the year he began. It was some organization in Berkeley. Imagine my surprise. Put him on this list for hate speech and calling him racist, just because he was talking about Islam. And that was probably when he was a lot softer on Islam than he is now. But yeah, everything's now just a bit more about current affairs.
Well, yeah, it is. It's a thing of the times, which is one of the reasons I'm not as worried as everyone else is that, eventually you're not going to be able to criticize anything that's not, white and Christian. It's like 50, longer than 50 years ago, actually, a lot of the old leaders were pretty fucking red pilled on the Middle East, and they were not shy about saying it. No one cared. But after, suddenly in the 90s, it became a big deal.
Do I know why that is?
Labour making deals with the Saudis?
Yep, oil-soaked shekels. That's what the problem is. But no, seriously, you look at
I think we should just move to 100% green and renewable alternative sources, TBH.
Do you think?
Yeah, not for the purposes of saving the planet, just to fuck over the Middle East.
Well,
it would work. That would be interesting to see.
It would be, actually. I mean, I'm not See, to be honest, renewable energy, would it involve high taxing though? That's the problem.
Depends how you did it.
It's if it was possible to do it without high taxing, then I'd say go for it. But I do not want to be taxed really high.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thing. Well, the reason they have to tax people so high is that it's just not doable right now with the current level of tech that we got. I mean, the only reason the Norwegians can do it is because they have a much bigger coastline than we do and lots of space in the ocean. We don't quite have that. We've got some, but it's not enough.
Oh, well, no, it's got a really long coast stretching right down from the Arctic Circle to just north of Shetland.
Yeah, I can't remember the percentage, but it's a good chunk of their electricity comes from hydrodynamics. Not hydrodynamics. What's the word for it? I don't remember. Basically, ocean moves stuff, makes power.
If it was possible to implement renewable energy without, taxing the hell out of people, then why not? I mean, it would be, even if it would be my number one choice. If it was to stop Saudi influence, then I'd love it. But I also heard could you confirm this if you know it? But is Venezuela got more oil than anywhere else in the world?
That's what I've heard. Yeah, they just
Right.
can't get to it because they can't feed their workers.
Yeah, it's just like I'm thinking, if we could, again, I don't want to like imperialism doesn't really. Well, I'm not the communist idea of like classical imperialism, but America imposing itself on regimes, it never like works well. But having said that, if we could get like a good country, turn Venezuela into a good country, then we could potentially
see it. That would only work.
Oil there,
or only work in the short term. Like,
what was that? Sorry.
That only works in the short term. The reason that a lot of other countries are against imperialism is because, despite the fact that it does bring improvements to a lot of countries, it's not sustainable in the long run. The only way it will ever be is if you really do go in there and take over and make the land ours, which probably isn't going to happen nowadays. Like, we would have to quite literally completely colonize and take over Venezuela for that to work. But to install like American rule or British rule over the current population, that would work for about 5 or 10 years. After that, the locals wouldn't accept it.
Yeah.
Solutions need to be homegrown, which is incidentally the same way I feel about the Middle East. If they don't change themselves, they won't accept an outside change. It's like they've got to do it themselves.
Well, I don't really have any idea how to solve Venezuela, to be honest. But as for the Middle East, getting rid of I hate to say this because I don't endorse Saddam, but getting rid of him was bad. That was a long-term own goal. Getting rid of Gaddafi was very bad because, as strict as he was, Libya was very stable, and it was only like the worst of the worst criminals that got the hard punishment. And what happened
he was the only thing holding a lot of people in Africa back, to be quite frank. Also, I can't help but feel we've completely strayed away from the topic again.
We have done that. That happens in live chats. You can't help it. It's inevitable. But yeah,
I suppose
if it happens again, don't worry. But I think this started with Pat Condell. Tailed your last comment there was held for review, like communist in space. I don't know what's going on. Maybe boner was the word. Communist in space. If you're still listening, you said faggots in your thing, so it was held for review. Jesus Christ. It's definitely full Google now. So, but Pat Condell, it's good. It's good to see him back. I mean, someone was saying the other week that the whole censorship on YouTube would maybe bring him back to the table to do it more often because he does it less frequently than he used to. But I just don't see him doing it. I think he's like the sort that will come and say his piece and then he'll bugger off until he's ready to come in and discuss again.
Yeah,
but I would love to see him in a live stream though.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen because he's never one to engage with the audience or with YouTube really.
It's just like his old man. He wants to say his piece and then tend back to his garden.
Yeah,
understandable.
I don't think. Actually, what kind of following does he have? Actually, let me just check.
Pat Condell.
Yeah,
that'll be a mixture.
That's not too bad actually. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if him coming back to regularly uploading is going to have much of an effect or sway that many people, apart from the folks who used to watch his videos way back when.
Well, the only thing that we can say is that anything that he could have done over the last few years is that the mantle's been taken by loads of others. I mean, I've looked at, for me, individually, I would probably look at Paul Joseph Watson, at least in his, 15, 16, those years, as being the sort of spiritual successor to Pat Condell. But then, since Trump's election, he's become more of like a meme artist.
Yeah.
It just creates funny memes.
Yeah, I mean, I used to kind of like Paul Joseph Watson, but I
You
was
fed
never, I
up.
was never, I was never that into him.
Maybe not. Is he just too? I quite like it. It's funny sometimes.
Well, a lot of the time, there's two reasons that it's sorry, three reasons. One, he doesn't know how to edit his own fucking videos. He leaves in too many of the shit parts. And every single time he talks over Twitter and like pitch shifts his voice, it's like, no, mate, what are you doing? That sounds like cancer. Stop it. That, and he can't back up a lot of the stuff he says. So a lot of his videos are just him talking shit.
Well, like the voice thing, yeah, he does like the high pitched voice too, so imitate whoever said the tweet is actually talking it out.
Yeah, I know, and he's doing it to show that the person who's doing it sounds stupid and annoying. It's like, well, congratulations, you now sound stupid and annoying. You did it.
Yeah,
deliberately annoying is still annoying.
Yeah. So Paul's had a video censored before, as is Jordan B. Peterson. He was, I think he got what Sargon got. I think he was frozen out of his Google services as well. And yeah, he's like, they've been really going after him recently, the woke lefties, because he's really like, I think there's like something about him, like, I actually think he will be looked upon by, like, in the future. You know how we look back to, I'm being bold as I say this, but we look back to the likes of Socrates, Da Vinci, people like 300 years from time will look back to Jordan Peterson. I think he will.
I really don't think so.
I think he will.
Like, a lot, he's very eloquent. Like, he's a very good speaker, but he's not saying anything new. Like, a lot of that stuff we already know or has already been said before. He's just sort of repackaging it. So no, he will not be looked upon for that. But for the next few years, he's going to be a good source for a lot of people's self-improvement, a lot of people's, they're going to do what I do and like read or listen to people talk about psychiatry stuff because they find it interesting, but not actually go and study it themselves. But he's never going to be like, he's not going to be the potential savior of Western civilization.
Well, I never said he's going to be the potential savior, but people will in the future. Look to the way that he just stood up. That was like what was I saying? I was going to say martyrdom, like the way he stood up. When he first hit the spotlight, speaking to all those arseholes shouting shame, shame, shame. But if you look at him, remember that video though, the interview with Kathy Newman, that really took off. So many people who do not watch our sort of content, tuned into that. So for me, even just bringing in the masses is enough to, stand out as one of as a key historic figure. Nearly 8 million views.
Yeah, it really did make the rounds. It's going to go a good way into like helping to convince people who aren't too sure, who are like maybe they're on the fence about, they know a bit about the issues and are on the fence about it. I think he's going to be the one to push them to our side.
Mm-hmm.
But for people who are on the other side of the fence or who aren't interested in debate, no one's going to care. This is not their.
Well, what they are going to do is, it might not change a lot of minds, for those that are completely blue pilled, but he is shown, how desperate they are with the tactics, those that are trying to smear him.
Yeah, people are really reaching hard for him, and I think folks are picking up on that fact and saying like, yeah, this other group's a bit too desperate, so that's
great though.
Not so good for
picking up all these things like Mix.com's what's his face, Jack Smith the fourth. He was trying to like paint. They tried so hard to edit it to make it look like he was so bad, but everything that they showed, like in my opinion, just made him look better. Everything they showed, and they weren't aware that they were actually making him look better. So it was like they were throwing a boomerang. It's like they set a boomerang on fire, and then put and then threw it away. poured gasoline all over themselves. The boomerang comes back and they just blow up. It was such an own goal. So, is there anything else you want to? Anything else you want to add about the YouTube purge, or have you said all you've got to say?
Not really. I mean, it's just that the only people who are really going to notice it are the people who watch that sort of content. No one else will care. It'll only be after people kick up a storm about it. Once it's happened, then it'll be more of an issue. But until that point, it's not going to be a big deal for the vast majority of people. But it's just something that we'll need to keep an eye out on.
Yeah. Well, The Independent did point out how that YouTube accidentally deleted some alt-right channels or conservative channels. So the mainstream media are acknowledging it. So here's hoping that might bring in a few people as well.
I'm not sure if it will, but it won't bring anyone new.
I mean, I do think the growth is slow, but it will keep going steadily. Like my oldest nephew, he's into all this sort of things. We've got PewDiePie on board. He's not doing it explicitly, but he is red pilling his audience.
Yeah, so I think it'll take something like more of a household name to really push people across.
And he's done a rapid fire review of Jordan's book, so there we go.
All right.
PewDiePie's our ace in the hole. He's the counterculture's best weapon. And if he was like taken down, like for so-called sexism, then that's going to really, bring loads of people, especially younger people, to the attention of this.
Yeah, the whole PewDiePie thing really did help that. Like, a lot of younger folk started picking up on the whole debate, and like not necessarily into politics, but definitely became a bit more aware of like the spheres of influence people try and have over the media and over YouTube. So it definitely helped to bring that to light.
So, yeah, hopefully, here's hoping PewDiePie. I mean, he'll just do what he does normally for his content, but my nephew watches him, and he's mentioned a few things that could be sort of, skirting the edges of political discourse. So they're getting red pilled. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. I've said everything. Any closing remarks before I end this?
Not a lot. Just things will keep going for a while. I've said all I need to, really. There's I think it'll be fine in the end, even if YouTube will eventually crash and burn, but it's probably always going to.
Well, YouTube's not going to last forever. It's just so big that it's going to have a long... It's kind of like the Roman Empire of the internet, in a way. Google. Google is the Roman Empire of the internet. It seems invincible, but eventually it will end.
They've let too many the savages. Oh God! Oh, they've let too many spicy memers in, and now we're tearing it down from within.
Well, they are. They've let the savages through the walls to run the asylum, basically. At Google. Sometimes I just think I'm a genius. Do you know that? Anyway, so yeah, a nice little bit of laughter, a bit of giggling to end the stream. So thank you for coming on, Branches. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, and nice to do another live stream. It's been a while.
You want to do more in the future, yeah?
Might do, yeah.
Should
probably get our other friend on as well, so we can get a good chat going.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. We'll get him on. He'll have quite a bit to say. Anyway,
I can't remember his screen name, which is why I'm being vague.
All right. Do you want me to say it?
No, it's cool.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to put a pin in this now, everyone. So thank you for tuning in, and I will be on a live stream not too far in the future, hopefully. So thanks for watching. Good night.
Yeah, thanks for turning up, folks. Night.